Look now, like I called this about 3 years ago, and I said, "Damn, how is Power 105? How are they going to continue to pay three radio DJs $1 million salaries individually every single year, annually? All of them make over $1 million on this station. The only person who was really making money like that prior to the Breakfast Club was Envy. But Charlemagne is saying that he wants to his contract negotiation is coming up at the end of the year, and he's thinking about taking his career to the next level. Angela Yee's already stated that she doesn't want to sign a long-term contract because she doesn't know the emotions and she doesn't want to be stuck in a situation and she's not happy and the show's not popping. Kind of like Angie Martinez. She had a long-time contract with Hot 97 and was there a lot longer than she wanted to be because once the station got flat, it was just like, okay, this is not the cool kids table anymore. I want to get the fuck out of here. And eventually she went across the street. She went to Power 105. But now Envy says he's got 5 kids. He ain't going nowhere. He's long term. Everyone's like, oh, you can't replace Charlemagne. Charlemagne is though. I don't think it would be a replacement. I think you'll just see a whole new show. Charlemagne, and this is the crazy thing about Charlemagne is you can say he's the star of the show. He's LeBron, they're the Cavs, whatever. But I think Charlemagne isn't as big time outside of radio as people think he is. Everything he's ever done outside of radio in his career, outside of Brilliant Idiots, has flopped. He had a couple of shows on MTV. One where it was a roundtable show, didn't do too well. He had a show with Lil Duval, didn't do too well. He's got some new show where he interviews random guests. The numbers do good on YouTube, but the content is like, it's not like actor studio or something like that. You know what I mean? You ever get excited for an interview and then you listen to it or watch it and you're like, it wasn't really what I wanted it to be. That's, you know what I'm saying? He's not as big of a deal outside of the radio platform as people think he is. And I'm not hating on him. I wish him the best of luck. And like I said, I've known Charlemagne since his South Carolina days. Met him in person. I've seen the whole transformation from him being a regular night DJ to becoming a nationwide radio guy. And they've done a great thing with that show. They've branched off in like 100 different markets and all of that. But I don't think he's as big as a star. And I think he might get humbled by this. We've seen this move before, but every radio show has an era, Dr. Dre and Ed Lover, the Miss Jones Morning Show. I mean, all great shows come to an end. You could make an argument Howard Stern. Howard Stern is still on, but it ain't what it used to be. It's PC now. Howard Stern's best radio days are behind him. You're not getting anything compared to what he did in the 90s. And everything comes to an end, man. So if they're going to end the Breakfast Club, I think this year will be it. It's starting to get a little stale, in my opinion. But, to me, it's a show that was always carried by the level of guests that they had. They always had the best guests and the best interviews. Everyone who could be anybody, who was anybody, came to that show. It kind of replaced what 106 in Park was for hip hop culture. You had to go to 106 in Park. You had to go to Yo MTV Raps. Now, for the last 10 years, it's like, okay, you got to go to the Breakfast Club. The show, the guest are what really makes that show, in my opinion. Not Charlemagne, not Envy, not Angela Yee. Have you ever heard the Breakfast Club for 4 hours without anybody on it, without any special guests? It's pretty average. You know what I'm saying? It's pretty. The guests carry that show. And they have the advantage because they work for a big time station and they're in the heart of New York City. Everyone is there anyway doing media runs. So go to the Breakfast Club. It's just, it's simple math. So like I say, I think he will be humbled slightly, but like I say, I wish him the best of luck and all his future endeavors. But I can see him wanting to move on because like I say, Charlemagne has been wanting to do more than radio for a while now. That's why he bleached his skin. That's why he's probably getting Botox and shit done. That's why now he's entered the whole mental illness lane. He's running around going speaking at schools about mental health and he's trying to find him another lane. He's trying to cross over. And when you look at the people who he idolizes the most in the business, Charlemagne and Howard Stern, Howard Stern and Wendy Williams, they both crossed over successfully. And it didn't work the first time Wendy Williams tried to do it because she had a TV show on VH1 back in the day and it didn't really take off. It took her a while. She had to tone herself down to a little degree to get that talk show with a whole new audience. And then you seen what the LBGT bullied her and made her apologize for calling out men for wearing women's clothes. So, There's a lot of compromising you got to do to cross over into a main pop audience. And Howard Stern, he found a way to do it with the America's Got Talent show as a judge. So Charlamagne wants to put himself in that category on the Mount Rushmore of radio DJs of his era. So I applaud him for having a lot of ambition and goals, but he's been wanting to get out of radio for a while now. I think he's gonna realize he's not as big as a star as he is, and then he's probably gonna have to go back to the radio market because that's his element. That's what he does best. And I still stand by what I say. That show is what it is because of the guest. They always have the best guest. It ain't the content. Yeah, Donkey of the Day is cool. Envy's Mix is whatever. Angela Yee's Rumor Report is something you can. The Rumor Report is probably the most irrelevant part because you can look up all of those stories on your own on Shade Room or Baller Alert or whatever you get your gossip from. It's really nothing groundbreaking that they're doing. It's just the guests that they have. The guests carry that show. But yeah, it looks like this is gonna be the last year, and I don't think he's gonna renegotiate to come back. I think that's a wrap for that show.